Okay, so before we move to the next section, we also talked about how markets, we just talked about how markets move in trends, and more importantly, how the collective of those trends forms cycles. Obviously, they call it a bull market because when bulls fight, they fight with their horns pointing up, and when bears fight, they fight with their claws pointing down. So typically, if you study stocks, indices, commodities, any financial security, all financial securities pretty much move in cycles. And a lot of people don't realize, most people, when they think about cycles, people always think about the 5 to 10 year cycle. But if you look at technical analysis, the Bible of technical analysis, Edwards and McGee will always teach you that there are a lot of cycles outside the 5 to 10 year cycle. There's what we call the secular cycle, which is a 15 to 20 year cycle according to Edwards and McGee. And if you look at why the Philippine financial or why the Philippine stock market has been so robust over the past, since 2009, 2010, 2011, with all these financial advisors, all these new mutual funds coming along in your PIFA list. Why? It's because Philippines started, or at least was in the meat of its secular bull market from 2009 all the way to 2015. In fact, our secular bull market technically started in 2003. Right here, 2003, we had the high of 2008, and then we had the first correction in our secular bull market, right? And then we had the meat of the move of that secular bull market from 2009 to 2015. And then we had that sideways move from 2015 to 2016. And then right now, the biggest argument happening between technicians is to where we are exactly in that secular bull market. Are we still here? Are we entering the first correction inside that last leg up in the secular bull market? Or are we already entering the right side of that secular cycle? Before I answer that question, let me tell you the good news first. The good news is that if you take a look at the cycle bigger than the secular cycle, which is the 50-year cycle or the super cycle, if you look at where the Philippines is that we're still pretty much at the end or somewhere here in the middle portion of the move. Which means that from a super cycle point of view, the 50-year cycle that started, if I'm not mistaken, in 87 or 80, we still have at least one more leg up in the super cycle to at least take the Philippine stock market to a new all-time high. Pero syempre, konting caveat, you're looking at a 50-year cycle, which means that a correction inside the 50-year cycle can be pretty painful, right? But when it comes to the secular cycle, I'd say that the debate is pretty much between somewhere here to somewhere here. So at least most people are still arguing that we still have at least some legs higher to go through, at least to complete the 15, 20-year cycle. And even regardless of whether you think we're on the left side, right side, and there's still a super cycle that can take us much higher.